Hello, this is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about summer garden. This is deep summer. It's the early August. It's kind of the peak of the summer. And if you've seen enough of these videos, I highly suggest, if you haven't, you do. This is what summer looks like. It's the time of the most massive growth. And in macrobiotics, we talk about it in the Oriental cosmology, or at least as far as I have gotten it, is that this is the time of large leaves, large growth, everything's large. And if you look back on the previous videos I've done from the winter, the fall, the summer and the spring, early summer and the spring, you'll see that, this is life. Everything is growing really rapidly. And here's some echinacea here. So summer gardening is about, for me, I just did some pruning. We'll walk around the garden a little bit. This is the courtyard area. Here's catnip in flower. So remember, flowers are plant sex. It's them going into reproduction. And here's echinacea in reproduction mode. Here's cannabis in reproduction mode. Here is wild carrot in various stages. See? Baby, and then adult. And then over here, you have the final stage where the pregnancy is, which is the seed. This is, we mentioned this earlier, this is gravel root. And if you look, this plant I pointed out in the winter time, I said, way down here, down there at the bottom of the pot, I said, watch, this plant will become very tall. And I said, it's going to reach as high as the ceiling. So it's almost there. Here we have a castor tree that was a volunteer in the garden. So we're looking at having some fun with this. And golden berry, thanks to Brian Lawfer. There's a bunch of golden berries. These are going to be free fruit for everybody. And then this is all Tulsi here. So these Tulsi here, this was in a large pot. So imagine that times 10. And then we just picked them apart very gently, put them in the smaller pots. And now we have a lot of Tulsi volunteers. Okay. More Tulsi. Volunteer mullein. There's the mullein from last year. And so some of the seeds fell. And what's really interesting is this wild carrot and this mullein here, they sprouted after there was a wild carrot right in this zone, right next to this pot here. And you can see what's left of it down there. We had to hack it back because it was all dead. And so then these sprouted over here once that died. And once this mullein finished, this mullein over here sprouted. So there's some strange intelligence with nature. It has its own designs and agenda. Here's the Calamus. So here's the cattail Calamus. That's the reed part. I have never seen this thing really flower, but I don't think it's been in full water enough. So this year what happened with the Calamus is it went in, the wild carrot volunteered in here, the prunella, this beautiful prunella vulgaris. See that prunella vulgaris there, self-heal. And dandelions in there, and there. I decided just to let it do its thing this year, but I'll end up pulling all this out and watch for my fall and winter videos, and you'll see the bare roots of the calamus root. There was also calamus, you can see it back here. So this pot also kind of went a little crazy. See, it went a little crazy. Managing growth. And there's another calamus out in the garden. We'll go through part 2 on this also. So all kinds of strange and unusual insects are in the garden this year. You can see there's a bee, a honeybee there with these smaller, there's some smaller insects that kind of buzz around in there. They're flies and wasps of various kinds. And I've noticed the level of insect activity is very high. And I'm super glad for all the and see me swish that guy away? That's my aggressive bee that he's got to learn his place. I'm shushing him away from the other bees. He's very aggressive. So I've decided to start messing with him a bit. It's been about 2 years he's been around the garden in various forms. And he hurt another honeybee so bad I decided that if he kills a bee, he's going to die. And I've told him so psychically. This is agrimony here. And so this is another beautiful rose plant. Helps with psychic boundaries, they say our ancestors used it for. And the one that has the aggressive bee is called wood betony. And it's such a beautiful plant. And there must be something about it that makes this bee so territorial about it. The nectar must be extra fine or something. And there's the original pot that the tulsi came in there. You can see, there's the tulsi, the holy basil. And the sea buckthorn trees did pretty well this year. There's a sea buckthorn tree there. Did pretty well this year. They're in tiny pots. The ones in the bigger pots are doing much better, which is this one here. So relatively so. See this is a pot about, oh, this is a 10 gallon. So those are in 5 gallons. So it's got twice the root structure. And then you don't often see skullcap in flower, but this is skullcap here. And it's just a nice, pretty, see there's some flowers there. You don't often get to see this plant in flower. Super lovely. Skullcap. Scutellaria. Not the Chinese skullcap. This is the Western skullcap. And so there's another little flower guy there. Let's see, it's an amazing plant. I use it a lot for nerve food and people that are overwhelmed and sensitive types. And then back to the sea buckthorn here. See? Very, very large. So the more root space a plant has, the larger it's going to grow. And this is no different. You can see this sea buckthorn tree is really kind of ready for the ground. And we can talk about sea buckthorn, watch the individual videos if you want to see individual information about any of these plants. Like we'll have a gravel root video coming soon. Some of them are already done. And finally, there's Comfrey back here, you can see. There's Comfrey. And those are the two I have back up in pots in case the gophers eat all of it, because they're starting their rampage now, because it's dry out and they see me watering, so they come wherever there's moisture. And this is the native ginseng over here, Aurelia californica. So I'm really looking forward to sharing more on the outside part of the garden in part 2. There's some lemon balm there. And then just note, in the cracks in the sidewalk here, see all this, that all was empty. It was like this here, barren, empty. And then I let the seeds go. And last year, so we have a lot of prunella. We have dong quai. Let's see if we can find a dong quai for you guys. There's the original dong quai here. Zooming in on it. So there's the original dong quai there. And it's got all kinds of babies around the garden. We'll go find a couple of those real quick. So as you can see, the water-loving Bacopa moneri, and Goticola, they just love the sun. And a baby dong quai. So you can see the baby dong quai right here. That's dong quai leaf right there. Angelica. So I'm hoping it has some nice white flowers again this year. And we'll go to part 2 in just a minute. This is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy YouTube channel, signing off with what is turning out to be a wonderful day here in Santa Cruz, California. And have a wonderful day.